let's get started here. Hello. Hello, hello. Uh, so, I was going to say, like, how is everyone doing today? I guess if you're watching the video afterwards, that's totally fine. Yeah, how are you doing, VOD watchers? I know there's like 4 of you. Thanks for being out there. Really appreciate it. Because I do constantly refresh the YouTube analytics. It is nice to see those numbers go up. Today, we are continuing our work on this side project of a side project, which is going to be the background for my rhythm game to replace the one that I have right now, which is just a static background. Hopefully it's good. I mean, I think it's definitely better than a static image. But, man, it'd be really disappointing if I, like, immediately think of a better one. I don't know. But I did get, the whole music visualizer project out of this, and I published that, so that's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. Nothing to be ashamed of there. Yeah, so today, already, prior warning, I do have a hard cutoff. I think it's, yeah, and like, let's see. If it's 11:20 now, 11... I could probably go for the usual 3 hours, but yeah, I do have a thing that's supposed to happen like after the stream, like immediately after the stream. Hopefully that thing that's supposed to happen doesn't like reschedule itself to be an hour early, because that would be embarrassing if I just have to like immediately cut the stream. Cut the feed. Stop. They can't know that I'm a streamer. No. So, anyways, we're doing programming. Let me look at what I have so far, because supposedly there's a rotation bug. And honestly, after thinking it over for a couple days, I'm like, how can there be? I thought I had rotation, like I tested it, I tested the rotation stuff, and I thought it was working properly. I don't get it. I don't get it. Okay, so it's running, and there it is. Alright, let's move the window around. Okay. Mute the tab, open the console. Ah, yes. It's nothing until we add some arrows. Yeah, honestly, that's pretty good. Yeah, looking at it now, I mean, it definitely, I'm looking at this guy. I want it to be like they're moving in a consistent direction and just rotating as they're doing it. Yeah, I don't like the whole, I don't know how to describe. It's like like the actual underneath mechanics of it is that they're rotating about a point, but that point is not in their center. The point of rotation is someplace else. It's like it makes it look like you're watching something flip end over end rather than just rotating. Like you throw an axe or something. I don't know why I'm thinking about violence today, but maybe that's just the mood I'm in, I suppose. Arrows not rotating properly makes me think about throwing axes. So yeah, honestly, it's BS. I hate it. Can we fix this? Can we fix this broken nonsense? So, in order to test this, I want to spawn only one arrow. And I want to spawn that arrow in the center of the screen and make it not move. It's fine. It's fine. Arrow velocity. So after opacity, I want to be 1. Then this should be 0 velocity x, 0 velocity y. Angular velocity. Let's do 0.6. I'm not worried about undoing this because, like, there's this revert thing that you get for free when you're using Git, which is pretty nice. That's what I want to see. Okay, yeah, you see how it's moving around while it's rotating? That's very bizarre. Yeah, it's like the point of rotation is somewhere here. Maybe a little bit in. It's somewhere here, which isn't even, it doesn't even seem like the point of rotation is aligned with the tip of the arrow. It's like slightly to the side. That's weird, dude. That's really weird. What is causing that? Well, clearly, what must be causing it is the draw image function. Is it possible that it's this? I want to assume that I had tested this, right? I'm pretty sure this was just fine. I mean, we can test that too. If I go to my main draw function, which I've passed over, I have a function where I'm like drawing the base arrow. Yeah, and so if I want to actually see this on screen, I can just change from drawing it on the arrow context to drawing it on the regular context. And if I give it some angular velocity, this one. Oh, I gotta sneeze. Hold on. Okay, or not. I guess I don't have to sneeze. Gosh, I hate that. What happened was like I was about to sneeze, but then I looked over to the sound monitor and I'm like, wait, did I actually mute it correctly? And the fear of sneezing on mic just canceled the sneeze. Oh, it was incredible. That's insane. That shouldn't be able to happen, but I guess I don't know. Do we want to get psychological and be like, ah, this This experiment proves that fear is the most basic human function. Okay, you're not rotating. What's your deal, dude? You're supposed to rotate. What the hell? I've been robbed. Oh, probably it's because, right. I don't even actually want to give it the real time. Yeah. Understandable. The problem was I was giving it, I wasn't telling it the current time, so it didn't know how to animate it. It was just like, time is not passing, therefore I will not animate. There we go. It's rotating now. And yeah, notice this one is more clearly rotating on its center. Okay. So so basically, gonna revert all these changes now. But not these. So we know that the draw function has the correct implementation of rotation, and draw from base is where we have an incorrect implementation of rotation. This is perplexing, particularly because I basically just copied and pasted. Oh, okay, hold on a second. No, I call update first. Crap. What does update do? Update. It sets the center X and Y. Okay, so this was I thought this was an issue of like, you know, this logic is completely correct, but it's just using the wrong center point. That can't be it, because look, I say, hey, look, get the current time in seconds, update the center. And that's exactly what this does as well, this draw function. Translate, rotate, translate negative. Translate, rotate, translate negative. In fact, I could probably highlight this. No? It's not smart enough to do that? Just want to make sure these are actually identical. Okay, so that's not gonna work. Dude, my nose is killing me right now. Okay. I do the translation. Translate, rotate, undo the translate, and then I do the draw. And then I do the draw. So clearly drawing something must be different between drawing the path and copying an image. Why? What is the deal? Is the rotation problem dependent on the size? Let's try this. I'm not really seeing a change in our problem. No, it definitely seems like it's always wrong, and it's like equally wrong regardless of the size. Oh, you know what though? Isn't this actually wrong? Isn't this actually... Shouldn't this actually be like this? Not this dot. That's it. Yep, we got there. We found it. We figured it out. We found the bug. All right. It was because when you're just doing a regular draw, all you have to care about is uh, your arrow and the extra distance that you get from the amplitude of the waves. You don't really consider that. It's not a fixed thing, and so yeah, all this top left X and top left Y stuff is just for calculating where to draw the outline of it. Whereas over here, the top left X and top left Y actually takes into account this margin we've added to allow the copying to copy the whole potential, outward extension of the waveform. Yeah, okay. So that's why that was wrong. Simple enough. And now let's revert this stuff. Very good. And now let's see what it looks like when it's drawn correctly. Yep, they're very clearly just moving along their path and rotating. It kind of seems like they're rotating all in the same direction. That's weird, right? Second to last. Here's angular velocity, and it's mapping from point 1 to point 6. Actually, we should allow a negative angular velocity, should we not? Okay. These are clearly going a different direction. Yes. Yes, very good. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. We fixed the rotation bug. Yay! Now we want to cull arrows when they go off screen. So now we just need to test whether something is off screen. Hold on, my nose again. Alright, I'm back. Uh, Hopefully I'm not getting sick. Drink some water, hopefully that helps. So I'm thinking we want to give our arrow the ability to communicate things like top, left, X, and Y, and size. We know that... Well, actually, yeah, no, this is like a rotating thing. Okay. Hmm. I need to tell this arrow a rectangle. No, I don't know. I don't even know what a number constructor is. Are there other parameters? No, there aren't really. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. We're trying to do collision detection, and we've got a rotating rectangle, so that's not great. Oh, hey! Hey, hi, hello. Welcome. Yeah, you did finally catch me live. I'm glad you're here. So we're trying to collide a rotating rectangle with the bounds of the screen. And like one thing you could do is you could try to determine the points of this rotating rectangle that is your arrow. And test each one of those points. Is it outside the bounds of the rectangle? That's one way to do it. But I think there's a more efficient way to do it, or like a simpler way to do it. If you're like, the problem with that is I'd have to determine the points of my rotated rectangle. I'd have to map that from like rotated space to real space, and I just don't want to do. I don't want to think about that. So I want to think like, if you take a square and rotate it, you're gonna get something like circle looking ish. Um, but that circle has a width and a height, so you could just like take that rotating circle and like as big as it could possibly ever be, and put a rectangle around that. So the difference between that like inner rectangle and the additional allowance you're gonna have to give it for rotating it, that's like some kind of additional fudge factor that we're just gonna add to the arrow, and it's gonna be fine because we're not trying to cull it like at the perfect exact time. Uh, all right, vintage motor always. What do you think? What do you think about this? Faster to go pixel color change at a coordinate. That might be a pain to deal with timing changes. Pixel color change at a coordinate. I'm trying to think about exactly what you mean. The problem is, I don't know that we... Pixel color change at a coordinate. It's like, what coordinates, though? I'm not totally sure that that's gonna work, because it's like, which coordinates would we check? Like, we could totally do pixel color change checking, hypothetically, right? Okay, so we just like, hey HTML canvas, what's the color of this pixel at some time, at at the start of this frame? And then we look at the next frame and say, like, hey, did the color of that pixel change from where I was looking at it before? You could do that, but our shapes that we're trying to collide have transparency. So like, you could be in the inside of the shape. You could not have, you could have this gap in the inside of the shape where it's like, actually there's no color being drawn, but that's a temporary state. You're actually just like in the eye of the storm. That's one small problem I could imagine with just looking at the pixel color change. I don't know if I'm misunderstanding you, but okay. You say cheat and make one pixel on the skin different for a fixed spot, and then put the checker underneath the canvas so that once it hits that value, you deconstruct the object that hits it. Okay, so it's a particular pixel on actually our arrow. Okay, so we're not necessarily just checking our canvas where we're drawing stuff. We're picking, I see. We're picking a pixel in our sprite, say, hypothetically. That makes a little bit more sense. Okay. So, I'll do you one better, though. Yeah. No, I'll do you one better. That actually makes me think of a better way to do what I was going to do. Our sprite, we know the center point of our sprite. And the center point of our sprite doesn't change under any rotation. So actually, we don't have to collide a rectangle with a rectangle. Really, we just have to collide a point with our rectangle. Plus or minus some fudge factor. I think that's basically what you were saying. It's actually sort of like in the direction of what you're saying. Hello, Mr. Clark Key. Wow, dude, just like everybody's here. Thank you so much for being here, Clark Key. I'm glad you made it to a stream. We're talking about collision detection. This is exciting. Okay. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna think some more is actually what I'm gonna do. So I know how to do is a point inside a rectangle. I claim I know how to do. So it looks something like we have this dot center x. Okay. And the center, if it's inside the rectangle, then the center x is less than the top left x and the center x is no, it's greater than. I'm stupid. And it's also less than the rect top left x plus width. So this is saying it's to the right of the leftmost point, which I'd prefer to express like this. Okay. Yeah, I like doing my compound conditionals like this, because you can kind of like pretend for a second that you could get rid of this, and you're actually, what you're saying is this. Top left x is to the left, the center is in the middle, and then top left x plus width is on the right. Okay. So that's one thing I'd like to say about this. Is not totally correct, because we're cheating a little bit, and this sprite actually has some width and height. So we're gonna revise this in a minute. And then we're also trying to say something else. We have to consider the y. So we have rect dot top left y. The top left y is less than this dot center y. We basically do the same thing. Okay. So that's collision of a point with a rectangle. Now we have to add some fudge factor. Okay, we have to consider the fact that what we're actually trying to do is detect when our arrow, which you can imagine it's like a rectangular image. Okay, we're trying to figure out when that is outside of the rectangle. So you don't want to just do the center. You actually do want to consider like the center. Imagine the center goes exactly to the left edge. There's still that little bit hanging out, which is like half the width. Okay, so you want to add that as a fudge factor. So you want to subtract off, you want to extend your bounds effectively. You could do it either way. You could like modify the center point that you're testing, or you could modify the bounds. I'm going to do it by modifying the bounds. So this is going to go a little bit more to the left. And this is going to go a little bit more to the right. This is going to go a little bit more up, and this is going to go a little bit more down. And now we just have to calculate what we want that fudge factor to be to make this collision work. We could rename this to something more sensible. Okay. And as I was describing before you showed up, Mr. Key, is we know, so we're inside of an arrow object right now. Okay, so this arrow object, we know a lot of things about it. We know its size. It's a perfect square, so size is the width and the height. But this square, so okay, if it was just this simple, we would say, hey, this is the size. So our margin should be exactly half the size, is how you do it. Because as the image I described before, you have to, your margin is that bit sticking out. Okay, but that's actually too simple. We're adding to this problem the fact that our square can be rotated. Our square can be in any rotation. So if you when you rotate a square 45 degrees, you know, you got the pointy bit sticking out. The pointy bit is actually longer in width than if it were not rotated that 45 degrees. So our margin should be this dot size over 2 plus something. Plus something, or times something. It needs to be a little bit bigger. Vintage Motors says, I would probably make it whatever the maximum reasonable travel for an arrow over one frame is, but have a tight upper bound so that they don't disappear before leaving the canvas. Do we have... That's something I didn't consider before. Do we have, like, frame considerations? So this particular collision detection is actually just for culling the arrows. Like, if they're off screen, make them go away. Let's see. And all these arrows are moving really slow as well. All these arrows are moving really slow. So I don't think we have to take velocity into account. I claim we don't have to take velocity into account. Let me think. Are there cases where we would cull something prematurely? Like, I don't think so. I suppose we'll find out. Yeah, no, definitely we want to be sure they're off screen. No, I agree with you. There's no need to like get this exactly right. But I'm pretty sure if my thinking is correct, it's the like precisely correct answer is this. Oh well, I'm dividing so I can multiply for free. Is you multiply by the square root of 2 and you get the exactly precisely correct answer. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah. The exactly precisely correct answer is multiplied by the square root of 2. I'm not going to use that, though. I'm going to actually make the margin slightly even larger and do like this. Because it's like, why bother? It's like, I'm going to wait even a tiny bit longer. You know, okay. Here. I'm going to do it the exactly precisely correct way first. And then I'm going to run it and see if that causes any problems. And if it does, then I'm going to be like, ooh, I don't want to think about it. I'm just going to multiply by 1.5 and call it a day. Okay. So, can I make this a little bit less painful to look at, this massive statement? Oh, well, that makes it actually really nice to look at. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, that's so good. It's all, like, aligned and stuff now. Okay. And now we have to implement this. Now we have to use this fantastic thing that I've just created. Okay. How am I gonna deal with this? Okay, so it's like, hey, here's my draw function. Do I have autosave turned on? For my editor? No. I have to manually press Control S when I want to save. I'm iterating over all my arrows to draw them. So before I decide to draw all of my arrows, I should check, hey, do these arrows actually exist anymore? Should I get rid of them? Right. So we're going to do one of these numbers. And I need to give it a rectangle. Canvas UI.canvas.width. Yeah, that's basically, hey, here's your rectangle. Writing this like in complete generality like I did before, where it works with any given rectangle, might be slightly overkill, if I'm honest. Because I'm only ever going to be checking it with, you know, the bounds of this canvas. But, who knows, you know? Vintage Motor says, I'm going to ask the presumably stupid question of whether it can be a sphere instead or not. I feel like a radius calculation to find the center would be faster, but I'm not certain for the detection field. Right, so like, well, not a sphere per se, but like a circle. Yes? Like, so this is basically the radius of the circle. When you rotate a square and you trace along the edges, you're going to get a circle shape. So this is that radius. So you're asking, hey, what if we use this as the radius and we're like, do a better thing, do a better calculation. I'm picturing in my head, we've got like a circle floating around in space, and you draw a line from the point in the center of that circle down to you like do a test. You say like, hey, there's these 4 lines that make up my rectangle. You know, what side of those am I on? I've done something like that before. And you can do like you like project the vector onto another. I don't think that can really be more efficient, because like look at this, dude. Like this is pretty darn simple. Like, I'm not saying I'm an expert at optimization, but like we just got addition to subtraction and greater than or less than. This is pretty close to being as optimal as you can get. I don't think there's a totally different method. But there might be. I'm not yeah, I can't think of a way to do it when you think of it as a circle. But you know, maybe I'm wrong. I totally could be wrong. Can I make this not look terrible? If arrow is inside if not arrow is inside rectangle, then I want to delete it. Shift tab, go away tabs. Then I want to be like arrows dot. Oh, hold on a second. It's like arrows dot delete remove splice. Remove elements. Yeah, remove elements from the array and if necessary. Okay, splice at I. By default removes 1, I assume. I'm gonna have to assume that it deletes 1 by default. And then, so that's great. We delete an element from the array, and then we better do I minus minus, because what's gonna happen is we're gonna do an I plus plus since we're in a for loop, and we actually don't want to skip over. Now that we've deleted that element, all the other elements, you know, slide down one spot. So we want to make sure we check the very next arrow. Yeah, that works. And let's throw a console.log in there. Yeah, I'm gonna assume that this deletes 1 element by default. Because it's an optional argument, the delete count 1. Okay, so what I expect to see is I'm going to draw some arrows on screen. They're going to float around randomly. And then they're going to start deleting themselves, which is great. Yeah, okay, so let's see. Yeah, this should be interesting for you, Vintage Motors, because I don't know if you've been following this project very closely. This is not the rhythm game that you're about to see. This is what I hope is going to be the background thing that's just going on in the background. It's all it's supposed to do is look pretty. Excuse me. Oh, hold on. Wait. Huh? What just happened? Wait. Add random arrows is supposed to add 100 arrows. Okay. No, that something is terribly wrong. Yeah, something has gone horribly wrong, right? Okay. Let me list all the ways that I've messed up this program, right? First of all, okay. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, I'm deleting arrow 0, which shouldn't. There should be more. Like, there's so many things wrong. I'm clicking add random arrows, which actually should add 100 arrows, and the center position of the arrow should certainly be on screen. Okay. So, well, that's good. My arrow spawning thing is still running, thankfully. Okay, let me stare at this if statement. You know, sometimes I just add some more, like, do some white space stuff, and that helps me understand. Okay, so this must be a case of so delete count must by default be the whole everything? I must have misunderstood splice? That's probably... I kind of wish it told me what the default was. Okay. Yeah, the arrows should have opacity. That's good thinking, though. You're thinking like a programmer. Okay, see, this is an improvement. See right here? It deleted arrow 0 100 times. That's much better. Okay, so we fixed that particular problem. Now our problem is that this is just always returning true, basically, I think. Well, wait. Okay, wait. If not arrow is inside rectangle, delete it. So that's correct. That's like the correct logic. What about this? Our center is greater than that. I'm worried I've like negated the logic here or something. This center is less than this plus width plus margin. That seems correct. Okay. Trying to be the Walmart version of GitHub Copilot. Don't worry about it. This minus margin, this center, this less than... I kind of trust this. I kind of think this is correct. Okay, so one thing we can do is basically just turn off. It's like, hey, it's always inside the rectangle, don't worry. We'll try that real quick. And this way vintage moders can see what it looks like when it's working-ish. Okay, there we go. Feast your eyes. This is what I'm trying to add culling to. So that's good. Like the fact that that worked is great. So this if statement, or this conditional, this Boolean thing, is returning false when it shouldn't be. What if different arrows respond to different frequency bands? So it would be more varied looking. That's a good thought. Yeah, there is like a variation kind of issue in the thing. I will think about that. We will call this left. We will call this right. We will call this top. And we will call this bottom. If log counter is less than 1, okay, what does this show me? Wow, that sure showed up more than once. Oh, that's because it's in a for loop. That's fine. That's fine. Just randomly assign a 500 hertz band to each one. Yeah, that makes sense. Yes, you're making sense. And then you could also teleport each arrow to the opposite side of the window instead of calling it. Yes, those are all. That is also an option. That seems like the last one though seems like an optimization. I don't know that we need to do that. Okay. Left looks good. Yeah. Negative 30-ish. Why is that different? Oh, okay. It should be different in because it depends on the size of the arrow. Yeah, that seems right. So these bounds seem perfectly reasonable. Okay, so I must be doing something stupid here, right? Like, what is the if I wrap things in parentheses, does that help? Oh gosh. Adding arrows still doesn't make things show up. Okay, so it's not a parentheses thing. That's good. That was just like a sanity check. Did I ever define the dimensions of the barrier? This rectangle. Yeah, no, so the console.log tells me that the values of top left X, top left Y are perfectly reasonable. So it must be the center X and Y that are wrong? If not, arrow is inside rectangle. Starting to feel a little bit like a crazy person. Okay. So, oh, look at this. Look at that. Look, look, look. Center is undefined. Center is undefined. We figured it out. We've got it. We've got it. Okay. That is the true problem. All the other logic was correct. But somehow, that's really bizarre. Is that bizarre? Okay, I think I see how that could happen. Okay. Okay, check this out. Check this out. Initial center X, initial center Y is what we create when we construct the arrow. And then the real center X and center Y is what gets changed every time you draw it and you simulate where the actual center is. So that's totally fine in a world where the second you draw it, you first update it. So here's what happens. You spawn the arrows for the first time, and then you do this collision detection before they've even been simulated for the first time. That's the problem. That's the problem. Okay, so what we really ought to do is decouple the simulating from the drawing. That's really what we need to do. That's the right way to program this. That's the correct way to do programming. Okay, so draw doesn't get an update. Well, yeah, let's just do it this way. Okay, so this is a significant refactor. Yeah, okay. Let's program this the right way. Let's program this the right way. Because I don't want to call update twice, is the thing. So what I want to do is say, hey, simulate every arrow. Ooh, this guy should move down here. Update requires the current time. Okay. We update the arrows. We update the base arrow. Yeah, simulate the arrows. Then do collision detection. Don't need that anymore. Then we do collision detection on the arrows. And then we draw. We're happy now. That was my error. Okay, and now I don't need this massive console.log block because it's all just going to work. Yeah, it's like I could have just drawn the arrows first, I guess, but then it's like they would get one extra draw when they shouldn't have been drawn. Ultimately, it doesn't really matter, but because it's like, who cares if they're on screen an extra frame, but they're out of, yeah, it doesn't really matter. Okay, let's try this again. Yay! And now we wait some time and they should start deleting themselves. Yes. And importantly, we should be able to visually detect when the arrows are disappearing. It would have been a Yandere dev way of fixing it. Ooh, spicy. Ooh, so spicy, Vintage Motors. Yeah, I'm looking at these arrows and I can't, like, visually detect them deleting themselves, really. I think it's pretty good. I think it's great. And this one little guy who's barely visible. Yep. I think it's perfect. And then, you know, we give all our viewers epilepsy, basically. Okay. Oh yeah, great background and YouTube compression. Yeah, I'm sure when I just flooded the screen there, the YouTube compression just like died. So that works. The culling algorithm works, and we're so happy. It was just a blob. Yep. Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds like compression. Okay. So actually, I want update to be like at the top. And this is update, do culling, and then draw everything. Very good. Fantastic. Alright, so now we gotta refactor this a little bit so that I can add arrows back on screen when an arrow gets deleted. So that should basically just be this. For your own curiosity, are those arrows being drawn as vectors or sprites? A little bit of both, technically. A little bit of both, technically. Okay. Oh, okay. So I'll explain this. This is pretty cool. So here's what we do. So how do I demonstrate this? How do I demonstrate this? This is fun. Let me think for a second, though. Can I? Yeah, okay. So, check this out. We're gonna do hue multiplier 0, so they stay the same color forever, and amplitude multiplier 0. Okay. So, I've done some optimization. It's gonna be slightly harder to demonstrate now that they're like deleting themselves, but we can actually draw a lot of these guys on screen at the same time without dropping frames. So watch the FPS. Okay, we could still draw around like 4,000 arrows at 60 FPS. The performance has gotten significantly worse now that we're doing collision detection, actually. But we can fit several thousand of these guys on screen at the same time and still do collision detection. You couldn't do that if you were drawing it in the most naive way of drawing it. So, what we do is we draw what I'm calling the base arrow. Where do I create this guy? What I do is I create a base arrow, and this guy has no rotations applied to it, but it does all the fancy, like, has the waveform on it and the appropriate color on it. We draw him. Okay, yeah, we draw him right here. Yeah, we give it the audio samples, and we give it the line color and the line width. Okay. We draw him, and then what we do is notice we're not calling arrow.draw for all the like several thousand arrows. We're calling a different function, draw from base. That's because we draw the base arrow onto a different canvas, one that you don't see on screen. We draw it to an off-screen canvas, which is basically just an image. This is called blitting. And then we use that arrow canvas that we drew the base arrow onto. We change the size, and we rotate, and we change the opacity. But otherwise, it's unchanged. We're just copying and pasting images on the screen, rather than doing the whole thing, which is like vector based and all that stuff. So we do the vector drawing once, and then everything else is copied and pasted images or sprites, essentially. So here's like the drawing logic for the vector. It's like, here's the point positions for everything, and then this draws the waveform on it. Yeah. But that only happens once per frame. Glad you like it. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool too. Although, I don't need 1,000 arrows on screen most of the time. My fear is that I have a really beefy PC, I'm pretty sure I did want to do that optimization. But yeah, before the optimization, it was like 20 times worse. 200 compared to 7,000. Yeah. If you want it tested on garbage hardware, I have some ancient stuff. uh, wait until I'm ready to actually put it in the game. But yes, I may enlist your help with that. It's gonna be like a couple weeks, maybe more before it's actually in the game. Hopefully I continue streaming all that time as well. Okay, so what I need to do is come over here, and I've deleted an arrow. However, I will now add an arrow back to the end of the list. So this should maintain the arrow count to be exactly constant. Oh dear. Oh no. Oh god. Help. Alright. Okay. I crashed it. I crashed my browser. Let's try that again. Oh my goodness. So this should actually be there. Add random arrow. Oh, I bet this has the same problem like before. So no. Okay. Now I understand what's happening. We add the arrow, but that arrow hasn't been simulated before. So, yeah. Let's instead do while let's do this. Let's do this. There we go. We do that just before the update call. Realistically, I should be calling update on this thing. I don't know. Let's leave it how it is. You could call update on it the second it's constructed. But why bother if we're doing it just fine here? That's doesn't really matter. Okay, I need to get my window back. Oh, well that's not what you're supposed to see. Okay. Alright, so you saw my YouTube control panel. Oh, what the hell? Shoot, how do I fix that? Does it matter if you... Am I doxing myself if I show my YouTube control panel? I don't think so. Yeah, no, I don't... It doesn't matter, so... Okay. Here, I'll do it like this. There. Okay. This is an OBS problem. Web view, pick the different tab. This one. Yes? No? Could you please show the correct tab, OBS? OBS is fighting me. Give me a minute. OBS, what is your deal? OBS, what is your deal? Okay, delete the web view. The web view is gone. I deleted it, and then I bring it back. Plus window capture. Yeah, plus window capture for that. Okay. And I float it around there somewhere. Yeah, OBS was fighting me. Oh yeah, I could be using a different browser for testing. Yeah, but like Chrome, like I want to use Chrome for everything. I could use a different browser for streaming maybe. I don't know. It doesn't matter. As we saw, I'm not actually doxing myself if I show the YouTube control panel, so like whatever. Okay, anyways. Yes, so we see deleted arrows, and simultaneously we also see that the... Yeah, see, look, the arrow count like dips down for a split second, and then it pops right back up. That's perfect. All you're showing is that you leave all your extensions pinned like a monster. Yes, I do. I do, don't I? No, that's not what we want. Yeah, what happened to... Oh, whatever. Yeah, no, I was going to use the browser source, but it's like I can't really do that realistically. It's fine. It's whatever. No, it's good. I should not be fiddling it with it right now. We have work to do. Okay. So, that's working correctly. Yeah, I agree. It would be annoying. It's like if I use the browser view, then like how could I actually interact with my browser while OBS is doing? I've never used it before. Whatever. Okay, so everything's working great. Next is a new feature. Okay, so let me think about this for a minute. You'd have to do it on the OBS window. Ew. Yeah. Super annoying. All right, so what I want to experiment with. What I don't like about this right now is oh, actually there's two things I don't like about this right now. One of them is that when I add a new arrow, they pop in on screen. So I don't like that. So I'll make a note of that. And another thing is that they're all like floating around randomly, which is not terribly aesthetic. Not terribly aesthetic. Out of curiosity, what do you mean by intensity? Or do you mean like visual intensity? Because there's a lot of different parameters that could affect that. Size is kind of, one of them. Oh, some wiggle more than others. I see what you mean. Yeah. Yeah, I do have a parameter for that. So that is definitely doable. Like, here. Does that work? Huh. Amplitude multiplier is supposed to work for that, but it's not currently. Why not? What? That should work. Did I mess with my amplitude modifier bounds? Maybe I did. What am I looking at? Okay, here. Min, max, 0.4. I'm pretty sure it's working, it's just... you don't see it that much. Yeah, the multiplier is there, you just don't see it that much because it's the max value is 1, so that's fine. Yeah, I do have a parameter for that. I'm legally obligated to clown on you for not popping your browser console out. Gonna have to hard disagree on that one. Gonna give that one a hard disagree. But alright, you do you. Feel free to clown. I'll be over here in my own little non clown world. Or I guess clown world. How does that work? I don't know. Okay. So what I'm gonna do first is I want there to be like a direction for all the arrows. Okay. Yeah, so we're gonna do like we're gonna do the classic coming from bottom right to top left, I think. So that direction is converted to radians. Pi is to the left. Pi over 2 is up. So it's 3 pi over 4. And then we're gonna do, let's do it like this. Let's do it like this. Yeah. How much do we want to vary the base direction? Let's do like 0.5 for starters, which is probably a lot. Okay. Slightly unexpected, but they are collectively moving in a similar direction, like I wanted. I wanted to do. Okay. Yeah, this is the opposite diagonal. But no, this is good. So the only problem with this is it's the wrong direction. It's this way when I want it to be this way. But also, since they're spawning randomly on here, there's this top right corner where everything looks sparse. That's just probability for you. Right, so we want to fix that. We want to fix that. So I don't know why this is wrong, but let's do this. You add pi to it, and that should fix it. Is that right? Oh, that's not right. No, hold on. That's gonna do a 180-degree rotation, I think. Yeah, see, that did a 180-degree rotation, which is not what we want. We want to do. We want to add. Do we want to do that? Okay. There we go. That's ultimately what I was trying to get to. Oh, that looks interesting, doesn't it? Reminds you of some Camellia song videos where they go all blurry. There we go. That's cool. Yeah, so that's great. That does what we want. I don't listen to music. I know that sounds crazy coming from a person who's creating a rhythm game. I don't know. I don't know, Eddie. Dude, you could name like the most popular. I know some song artists. Okay, so that wouldn't work. You could name like the most popular song title, and I wouldn't know it. Like 50-50 shot if I actually have heard of it. Okay, the arrows are not spawning off screen. We have a collective direction, but they're not spawning off screen. It's not pop. Okay, good. Okay, thank goodness. My lack of song knowledge is hidden for now. Hmm. So here's a problem. I want to spawn my arrows off screen, but I don't want them to get culled. How does that work? "99% of mainstream stuff these days is trash." Dude, that's true about everything in general, not just music. Maybe that's a hot take. Finding things that are truly good in the world is, and not just like mediocre or broken in some horrible way, is actually really difficult. So let's do something. Like this. And further complicate our collision detection. Something compared to minimum lifetime seconds. Arrow dot, hold on, dot initial time seconds. Let's do this. Let lifetime. And then where's my current time? If lifetime seconds is greater than minimum lifetime seconds, arrow dot. Oh, it should be public. This is kind of true of all arrows, so let's do it like this. Something like that will probably work. Let's see. Exclude the cull until they've entered the barrier. Yeah, that's how I was thinking of doing it, but it's like then I have to like add are they in the barrier detection, and this just seems like the path of least resistance right now. Would the barrier being one-sided not be less expensive though? That is also a way to do it, and you're right that that would simplify my that would make my collision detection significantly cheaper. You're 100% right about that. But um, I'm just not going to do that. I'm just no. Because I might want to change this at some point. So, but you know, you're 100% right that that would be a great optimization. That would not be very difficult at all. Totally sensible. Okay, so they live for a minimum amount of time. Did I set the no? I didn't set the minimum lifetime seconds. Let's have them live at least 2 seconds. You guys get 2 seconds to get on screen, or else you die. Okay, and now I just want to spawn them off screen, so I want to change this. Yeah, so this is gonna be we're gonna use another map linear, because that's the only way I know how to program, is by throwing map linears everywhere. Okay. Okay, so far this is just a refactor. But because I'm drawing from 0 to width. But what I want to do is actually say no, you can only spawn in how do I express this? I could spawn them in like a line, in like an L shape, or the opposite of an L shape. Or I could spawn them in a rectangle off screen. Let's spawn them in a rectangle off screen. So or a square off screen. Width is all the way to the right, and height is all the way down. That might basically work, and let's give these guys like a few more seconds to live just to be sure. And let's see what this looks like. Another probably stupid question. Is there currently a limit on how far off screen they can spawn? So yeah, so far, like before, they could literally only spawn on screen. Because it was drawing it from 0 to width, and this is the first two arguments are the center point of the arrow when it spawns. Could only have spawned on screen at first. But yeah, now I want to make it only spawn at the bottom right off screen in a rectangle. Okay. Not a good sign. The poor buggers never get on screen. I don't give them enough time. Alright, I'll be more patient. I just have to be more patient with the arrows. Give them more time to be on screen. Let's give them 20 seconds. There he is. There he is. There they are. They are very, very clumped together. Oh, and half of them just died. Oh, well. Okay. Yeah, so I'm not sure if you can visualize this, but the what's happening now is the spawn screen, the spawn area off screen is too small, and so what we get is like a cone effect of we're only seeing, yeah, we're seeing like a cone of possibilities for arrows coming on screen when we wanna see more like we want to fill the screen more evenly. Yeah, that's fair. I see how that works. So yeah, I want to totally change it. I want it to spawn everything basically out here. That's what I want to specify the area to be. Randomly spawn in this area somewhere. It's hard to do that in a single line of code though. Because it's not rectangular. Yeah, okay. Here's the spawning code. Now let's think about this for a second. What if it's one rectangle with another rectangle covering part of it as an inverse mask? Yeah, I see what you're saying. I don't know how to convert that to spawning to this universe though. Hmm. I go quiet when I'm thinking. Um we need to turn a random number from 0 to 1 into well actually we have two random numbers to work with. That makes two of us. Well, good. We're in the same boat. We have two random numbers to work with. I mean, we could change it to like multiple random numbers, but I want to make sure that it's evenly distributed. We have two random numbers, and we want to convert that to mapping, that reversed L shape. Hmm. And we don't want to do it in a way where it's like, you know, try this position. Is this allowed? No. Okay, try again. Like I don't want to try it like 1,000 random positions, if I can help it, as well. Okay, I have a solution. I have a solution. Um, and it's such a solution that I'm gonna put it in a separate function. Okay. Okay, so what I'm thinking is we are gonna split the problem into two rectangles. And we're gonna introduce a third random variable to let us choose which of the two rectangles we're going to spawn in. That's basically my solution. It is one of the solutions of all time. Yes, it certainly is. Okay, we don't want commas. Okay. So, we want to make sure our rectangles are non-intersecting, though. This generalizes really poorly for things that are not square. Well, I guess for things that are not square, I can fiddle with this number. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't overcomplicate it. It's totally fine. Okay, so let's do right rectangle first. If you're in the right rectangle, your width must be at least, we'll say width plus 100. And your maximum width is, so this is already perfectly fine. Your height, however, can be 0 to 0 to, let's say height plus 200. Yeah. Your height can be anything because you're off screen to the right. Okay. And now, however, if you're in the bottom rectangle, it's basically reversed. Your width can be anything. Do we want 0 height? Yeah, we don't want like negative height. Okay. And this, yeah, we start at 0 width and then we go to width plus 200. But your height is stuck like this. Yeah. There we go. This is the solution. So in theory, we've got 100 arrows off screen. This looks pretty good. And now we gotta stare at it for a little while to make sure there's not some weird issues with it. Seems like maybe the middle isn't populated enough, but maybe that's just random chance. No, I think it's actually fine. To test it a little bit more certainly, we could, what could we do? We could do this number and spawn a bunch of arrows. Yeah, that's what we want to see. Yeah, I'm pretty confident that it's working well now. Looks cool too. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Now we just have to solve the initial density problem. Okay, so what do I mean by the density problem? When you first start the simulation right now, it's just a blank screen, and that's not what you want, because that's not how game backgrounds should work. You don't want the player to just like sit there and like, I guess I'm gonna get a background at some point, or they're gonna be like, is the game frozen? Yeah. So we want initial arrows on screen. So what's that solution look like? I think it's basically, yeah, okay. Basically, there's the initial spawn, which I think should include the off-screen section. So it's that whole big rectangle. And then any new spawns have to only be in the off-screen part. Yes. Yes, what you say. What you said, Vintage Motors. That is exactly what I'm going to try to do. Stop me. I'm generalizing. Look out. I'm abstractifying. Ooh, are you sure you want to go by your real name on stream, in public, for the world to know? I don't know. Okay, so this guy is off screen. And now we want another function that's like initial. Okay, and this is basically the same dealio, but simpler. Alright, you don't mind being doxxed? That's alright, I'll take note of that. Alright, I will refer to you by your true name, Daniel, from now on. X is X, Y is Y. And now we fix this to not be silly. Yes. Yes, perfect. I'm loving it. Yes, yes, yes. And now... Yes. Yes, this button uses off screen and the spawn initial arrows. Oops, I put that in the wrong place. The spawn initial arrows uses initial random position. Oh my goodness. Yes. We're so general right now. I'm probably gonna set up the play button to use my initial arrow spawner, which I need to go into the domain of the UI. Ugh, the UI section of the code. Oh dear. Oh gosh, I have like old comments I didn't delete. Oh gosh. That's fine. I can stay commented down. So where's the play? Where's the like the first time you play? It's in ready state and you hit play and there's audio control.start. Yeah. That's when I want to spawn the initial arrows, I claim. I don't know if we can do that though. Am I already importing stuff from index? I'm not. I'm not importing anything from index. I don't think I can without causing a circular dependency. Where was I? I've gotten lost. Okay. This is what I want to do. But I'm pretty sure that this is a problem. What? Why is it importing from Why is it importing from Dot? I guess Dot is... Oh, I haven't seen that before. I've never seen it import it like that. That's weird. Okay. Duh. Alright, you gotta do some yard work. Sounds great, dude. Thank you for stopping by. Good luck with your yard work. And I hope I see you around again. Let me see. Expected 1 arguments. Oh, that's over here. 145. Oh, that's fair. Okay. Do we see what we want to see? Yes, we do. That's fantastic. You love it. You love to see success. Okay. And now what we hope is that as these arrows go off screen, we will spawn more arrows before the screen seems underpopulated. That's basically... That's the trick that we're trying to play on the user. Does seem a bit overly flashy, but I think I've mentioned that before. That is a known issue. Seems like there's a little bit of a burst there. But of course, I don't know how much of it is just due to random chance. So, how do we make the random, for testing purposes, how do we make the randomness unrandom while still being random? Figure that one out. So let's do 10x the arrows on screen. And let's bump up the magnitude. Make them go faster. Direction is probably still fine. Yeah, I think the random speed that I had before was a bit off. Like maybe it should have been different. I should probably correlate size and speed. Yeah. Yeah, realistically I should correlate size and speed. Because the ones in the back should be moving slower on average because they're further away. Yeah, yeah. I'll get to that later. But for now, I think I almost have to call it quits today as well. I should be pretty safe, but let's see. Yeah, I want to spawn this many arrows. Oh, well actually no, this can stay 100. Yeah, no, the initial arrows should spawn as many arrows as I want to see on screen. Yeah, yeah, okay. So let's try this. We're making the arrows faster, and this maybe should help us suss out if there's any problems. Let's do constant hue and no amplitude modifier. There we go. That's what I like to see. Well, oh, the minimum lifetime is now the problem. Right. Let's try this again with a minimum lifetime of 1 second. This is very difficult and annoying to tune. Wait, huh? Did I not do NPX Webpack? How huh? The UI stays the same? That doesn't make any sense at all. You can change. Oh, that's weird. Okay. Okay, never mind. This seems pretty good. This seems pretty good. I'm not sure what YouTube is gonna do to it, but but from what I'm seeing visually, it's pretty good. Okay. Let's restart it and try it again. There might be something there. No, this seems pretty good. Yeah, I'm kind of liking this. I think I've sort of solved the issue. Yeah, you just have to finely tune that minimum lifetime. And let's correlate the let's correlate the size and the speed. How, though, not totally sure. Okay, what's like the minimum size? What units are we dealing with here? 20 to 80. 20 to 80. Okay, so what if we did like size, size, let's divide it by 2. Okay, so now it's 10 to 40, and then we should add something to it. So now it's 50 to 80. Yeah. The low being 50. And then let's do like this. No, that's the opposite of what I wanted to do. Let's see how that works. And let's be more patient with our arrows coming on screen. We're too patient, I think. Are the smaller guys slower, though? Wait, no, that's actually... Isn't that the opposite? Wait, hold on. Yeah, no. The smaller guys should be slower, for sure. For sure, the smaller guys should be slower. Yeah, because that's... I want to do... What do you call that? Parallax. That's the trick. I want to do something like a parallax effect, where the guys in the back are moving slower than the guys up front. They're still moving a bit too fast for my preference, though. So let's do like 20 to 30. And less time for them to get off screen. That looks pretty good. Yeah, I think the speed should be even more size dependent because like that little guy is kind of keeping up, and it shouldn't be that way. The ones in the back should be much slower, I think. Hmm. So if I want the size to have more of an impact, I need to reduce this amount that I'm adding relative to the size. So let's do like 1. So it's like completely dependent on size, plus or minus a tiny, tiny amount. Gonna make him move slower this way as well, which might cause me problems. I might not be allowing them enough time currently, but are the ones in back slower enough? Maybe kind of. If I kind of, step back a little bit, I should feel kind of like a parallax effect happening. Maybe it'd be easier to detect if they were all moving in the same direction. Gosh dang it. There. Yeah, I think I'm getting it now. I think I'm definitely feeling it now. That's very good. That's very good. Yeah. Awesome. That's very good. Um I want him to move a tiny bit slower, but I think it's good. I think I also want to try less base direction variation. Because I kind of liked them all going in the same direction. I didn't think that was like visually boring or anything. Yeah, maybe we make it even more slight. And can we make them less dense real quick? That's like half the density. Yeah, definitely still too dense, and I've got the timing wrong a little bit on the minimum lifetime. Hmm. Yeah, maybe the true solution to this is to only do collision detection on one side of the screen. Maybe that's the true solution. Yeah, because I thought minimum lifetime was going to be like actually a simpler and like less fiddly thing. But now I've been fiddling with this with the min lifetime thing so much. It's like maybe it's better not to do it that way. Yeah, this is good. Maybe I tweaked the rotation speed down a little bit. I think I tweaked the rotation speed down a little bit. Angular second to last one. Yeah. Hmm. Okay. So what's the alternate version of collision detection where what's the alternate version of collision detection where things are allowed to be off screen to the right and down? So this is saying the center x must be greater than this, and but it must be less than So I think we just delete this and this. And that's basically the solution. And then if we do that, we don't have to check minimum lifetime at all. Let's see how we like that. Good, it's already deleting arrows. Yeah, this is looking very good. I'm liking this a whole lot. One potential cause for concern with this change is I was worried there might be some edge case where the arrows could get into a spot where they just never despawn. Seems like that's not going to be a problem. Yeah, this is really nice. This is chill. Okay. Now, can I decrease the arrow density and have it still look chill? Man, I gotta pee. Where are we at? The arrow density is consistent. We basically solved that problem. We have correlated size and speed. We haven't done arrows pushing each other around yet. Yeah, so that would be a solution to the rare circumstances we're seeing where they kind of bunch up and overlap. I don't like them bunching up and overlapping. But let's decrease the arrow density a bit more. Let me decrease the arrow density a little bit more, and I'm going to fiddle with the settings. Oh, sorry, you didn't see that. So, like, I was looking at the notes. We finished stuff. Decrease the arrow density. So what I want to do is I want to fiddle with the settings a little bit and see if I can make it look not offensive visually, like not overwhelming. I'm going to do it with the sound on as well. Yeah, let's try that. Because now it's at a stage where it could kind of look like the final product. Line width. Maybe we do like 3 to 3.5. And we do blue. Amplitude multiplier pretty low. I like that. That's so cool. Yeah, and you see they're like bunching up here. If I could fix that, that'd be cool. But I'd only want to prevent them from bunching up if they're close in size. Huh. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, this is really close to how I wanted it to look ultimately. Yeah, this is really close. This is almost perfect. Feels like maybe one more stream and it'll be ready. I'm loving this though. It's so cool. That's awesome. That's freaking awesome, and I love it so much. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, yes, yes. I love it so much. I think I will do the arrows pushing each other around thing, or at least I'll attempt to do it. This might turn out to be a feature that just like doesn't actually work and it's unnecessary, but I do want to at least try to do that. I don't think that can fill a whole stream, oddly enough, so I wonder what I'm going to do about that. I don't know. Might do a short stream or just like try to switch to the rhythm game project. Yeah, we'll see about that. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna call it here. Gonna call it a day. But hey, thanks for everyone that showed up. Really appreciate my friends coming to support me, and also huge thanks to any lurkers or any VOD watchers that are watching as well. Thank you so much. And hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Farewell.